All right, what's going on YouTube? We are back with another video, and today we're going to be reviewing one of the top futures prop firms in the space. Now, if you are part of the private community, you know that we've been trading CFDs for quite some time, and we have slowly been wanting to, also add the futures side of things to what we got going on. And we've had a lot of requests for what futures prop firms do we recommend, what's really out there, how does it work. So definitely wanted to make this video not just for the community, but for anybody out there that is looking to find out a little bit about alpha futures, find out a little bit about what options are out there for futures prop firms, with this being one of the top options out there. So definitely want you guys to realize that there are many great options. There are many household names in the space that all have something to them that makes them stand out. So we're going to talk about what makes alpha stand out specifically, and basically how to pass the accounts, what are the rules, what are some of the details you need to know if you are going to decide to trade with them. So first and foremost, we got to understand that Alpha Futures is not just some brand new little prop firm that just popped up the other day. They've been in the space for quite some time. They have plenty of reviews for you guys to check out on Trustpilot, and you guys can see that they have over 10 million in payouts already, with hundreds of thousands of traders that have chosen this as a home for their trading. Now, we're going to be going into number one, what makes them stand out, and that is that they have the largest payout cap in the industry. So one thing you got to understand about the futures prop firms is that they do have some restrictions on the maximum withdrawals on their accounts, whereas Alpha Futures has, again, the biggest withdrawal of $15,000 per standard or advanced account, which we're going to be breaking down the three different types of accounts that they have in just a bit. But this is definitely the biggest pro when it comes to Alpha, is being able to get a 15K payout per account, where you have up to 3 maximum accounts with Alpha. Now, one thing that you will notice when you start investigating and doing a little bit of research on how these different futures prop firms work, you're going to see something called intraday trailing drawdown or end of day trailing drawdown. And really, depending on your style of trading, the way that you personally trade, whether it's scalping, intraday, if you are somebody that likes to really micromanage your trades or not, that's going to make a big difference with the accounts that you choose to pursue. Because again, something like intraday trailing drawdown, something that you'll see, for example, with Apex, they are going to have you really have to, again, trail stop very aggressively and kind of maybe even change the way you trade if you're not used to doing that. When it comes to Alpha, just like Top Step, they have a end of day trailing drawdown. So that's going to be a little bit more easy to manage as far as your trade management goes. So you do have a 4% end of day maximum loss limit on the standard accounts, which personally, those are my favorite, which again, we'll break down here in just a second. So no intraday trailing, just end of day trailing is what you have to manage. Now, one thing that is really cool about Alpha is that they really do have great support. You guys can join the Discord that they have, and you'll see that they're always responding to people in the Discord with any questions that they may have. Maybe they tell you to submit a ticket, but for the most part, they are very responsive when it comes to issues, questions, and things of that nature. And when it comes to the virtual payouts, if you use something like Rise, you'll see they have different options for the payouts, but for the most part, we've seen people have same-day withdrawals where they're able to request it, and basically within half a day or less, been able to see the money actually hit their bank account when it was all said and done. So that's obviously great to see. Again, some prop firms take much longer to do payouts, and their processing, as far as Alpha goes, they're pretty fast on that side of things. So now let's break down the three different types of accounts that are offered within Alpha. You can see the different pricing and some of the rules around zero, the standard, and the advanced account. So we're going to start off with my personal favorite, which is the standard plan. If you have a 50K, it's going to be $79 to get the eval. If you do not pass the eval within a month, obviously it will then charge you at the end of that billing cycle, another $79 to keep the challenge going. So that's pretty standard across futures prop firms in general. Compared to CFDs, you have usually a much higher price point where you just pay one time and then you have no real like time limit when it comes to finishing the challenge. But when it comes to the future side of things, you definitely want to try to get, you know, that eval completed within a month so that you don't have to again pay a, you know, continuation into the second month, third month, etc. So just keep that in mind. They do have a reset fee as well of $59, meaning if you fail the eval, if you breach one of the rules or whatever the case may be, you can hit a reset for about $59. So we'll get into some of the rules and everything, but as far as pricing, that's how it goes on the 50K. When it comes to the 100K, it's at 159 a month, and then 150K is $239 a month. So that's the standard plan. The zero plan, which is not really my favorite, which we'll talk about, is $99 a month. The 100K is $199 a month. You will notice there's no activation fees on the zero accounts compared to the activation fee that you will have to pay, which is $149 for the qualified accounts once you pass a standard or advanced eval. So just keep that in mind. You do have that activation fee. There are certain times where you guys are going to be able to see promos that run where you'll maybe get like a percentage discount and also no activation fee. So be on the lookout for those. I will definitely be posting those throughout social media and on the YouTube channel if we do get some promos like that. But that is the difference between the pricing on zero and alpha standard. If you are not, you know, looking at any certain promos, the upside is you have no activation on the zero accounts. Now the advanced plan, you're gonna see 50K is at $139 a month, 100K is $279, and then 150K is $419. So that is the pricing, again, excluding any promos that we may have from time to time for the accounts. But now let's get into what these rules look like and how the actual payout policy works. So starting off with the zero accounts, we're gonna have the minimum trading days be 1 during the eval stage. So obviously if you do want to hit that profit target, you know, in one single trade, this would be the route to do it. There is no consistency rule on that trade. So you guys can basically come in here and pass this account in one day. Your profit target on the 50K is 3,000, which is about like 6% of the account. You guys see that you're having a max position of 3 contracts, a drawdown of 2,000, pretty standard. And yeah, so the daily loss guard is something to consider as well. You do not have an allowance of more than $1,000 before they actually, you know, close you out of that trade. Now this is a soft breach. It won't cause you to, you know, fail the eval or anything, but they will basically like not let you trade the rest of the day if you pass that $1,000 daily loss guard. So just keep that in mind. They do let you trade through news as well during this stage. So yeah, this is an account where you could be very aggressive and try to get it done in one day, of course. Now, once you actually qualified, meaning you've passed the eval, then you guys will see that, you know, some things stay the same, such as the max drawdown here. The profit split is at 90% fixed when it comes to the zero account. So profit split will be not tiered, but just set at 90%. There are other options here that are going to be tiered payouts, which we'll talk about in just a second here. So 90% is the profit split on that. And same thing, you have that $1,000 daily loss guard here. Now you do have a consistency rule, okay? So please keep in mind that, you know, that 40% consistency rule just simply means that if, for example, your biggest winning day was $1,000, then that means you'd have to work your way up to about a $2,500 balance for you to request a withdrawal, because that $1,000 out of the 2,500 will be 40%. So whatever your biggest winning trade or day is what's going to be 40%. Like that has to be 40% of whatever balance you end up working your way towards. So the bigger you have your biggest trade, the more of a balance you're gonna have to have before it even allows you to request a withdrawal. So just keep that in mind. Now there's no set payout dates. You guys can actually request every 5 winning trading days. You have to have 5 winning days of at least $200 in profit or more. Now they don't have to be consecutive 5 days, but within the payout request period of when you started trading that account, you have to have at least 5 $200 winning days before you can request a withdrawal. Again, keep in mind this is the 50K plan for 0. Now the minimum payout request on this account is going to be $200, and you're capped out at $1,500, $1,500. So when you see me talk earlier about having, for example, the highest payout cap in the industry, that's not going to be something you're really going to take advantage of if you're choosing the 0 plan. So just keep that in mind. That's how it works with this specific account. Now, as you start to grow profit on this account, you're going to be able to only withdraw 50% of the balance. Meaning if you made, let's say, $2,000 on that account, it will only allow you to withdraw 50% of that, which will be $1,000 until you hit 30 trading days with $200 profit or more. Meaning that if you trade 30 different days and you had $200 minimum profit or more, then they will bump you up to request up to 100% of the profit in the account, obviously staying within the withdrawal limit that they have, but you won't be capped out at that 50%, but you do have to work your way up into 30 winning trading days of 200 or more. Now, as I mentioned before, you don't necessarily have a buffer that they're making you trade to in order to request a withdrawal, but you do have to keep in mind that if you are gonna withdraw, let's say, all of the profit that you made on the account, you can still be susceptible to having that account get closed because you're withdrawing into the max loss limit, because that max loss limit is adjusted as you profit in the account. So just keep that in mind to not withdraw the whole profit that you make if you do not want to lose that account. So you're always gonna want to withdraw a certain amount of the balance to give yourself still some loss limit and work your way back up. All right, so now let's look at the standard accounts. So we're gonna look at a standard 50K account. When it comes to the minimum trading days, you're gonna have 2 during the eval stage, which means that you do have a 50% consistency rule. All of that means that if you look at our profit target, which is $3,000, you cannot make more than half of that target in one single day. So you are capped out at 1,500 as your max winning trade for the day. So basically you can pass the account in 2 days with 2 $1,500 profit days. So that is one way to do it. This is just going to just force you to not try to hit a home run in one day, but more so to just hit a couple of decent trades back to back in order to pass the account. Same thing with the drawdown, $2,000. And then you're gonna basically still be able to trade news and everything. Now, once you are moved into qualified, you have at least to wait 3 minimum trading days. Now, you'll notice the daily loss guard and the consistency rule remain the same here. And you do have that max allocation of 3 total accounts that you can have with Alpha. Now, when it comes to holding through news with the qualified account, there are some restrictions that you guys can actually see in their terms and conditions and whatnot of how that works. But one thing we definitely have to kind of look into a little bit more is how the payouts work as far as a tiered system. So unlike the 0 accounts that are hard set at 90%, you're gonna have tiered payouts, meaning that they will change as you progress. So your first 2 payouts are gonna be at a 70% profit split. So whatever you make, you're gonna be able to withdraw up to 70% split of that. Now, once you move into payouts number 3 and number 4, that number jumps up to 80%. And once you get payouts 5 and above, that will jump up to 90%. Now, when you are starting to trade this account, you're going to be able to request a withdrawal 14 days from when you place the first trade. So if you place a trade on Monday the 1st, you guys will be able to request that withdrawal basically 2 Mondays from then, right? So 14 days from that first Monday that you traded. So 2 Mondays from then, you'll be able to request a withdrawal, of course, as long as your consistency rule is satisfied which is that 40%. All right. So again, keep in mind the withdrawals do contribute to the max loss limit, like I was saying before. So if your 50K account is now at 55,000, you can withdraw all of the profit, right, which is 5K, but you're keeping that 70 to 90% depending on whether it's your first payout, your fifth payout, your third payout. But if you do withdraw that full $5,000, that takes you back to $50,000, which would breach the max loss limit, and they will close your account. So even if you do make, let's say 5K, you don't want to withdraw the whole 5K. You want to have something there for your max loss limit. And then you'll be able to split whatever's left over 70%, and then you can work your way up into the second, fourth, fifth payout, etc. Now, the last account that we're going to be going over is the advanced account. So on the eval stage for advanced, you're going to have 2 minimum trading days, which means you still have that 50% consistency rule. So you do need to hit half of that profit target max in one certain day. So if your profit target, for example, on this 50K advance is 4,000, the most you can make is 2,000 in one single day. Then you can make the other 2,000 the next day if you like, and that will put you within those rules. They bump you up a little bit with the contracts. You can trade up to 5. Your maximum drawdown is a little bit less. It's at 1750. On this one, you do not have a daily loss guard, however, in this situation. Now, once you move on to qualifying, okay, you're going to be able to see that that maximum drawdown stays the same. The profit splits are still set at a basically static 90%. They are not tiered on the advanced. Keep in mind as well that when you hit that 30 winning days, so if you have the $200 profit 30 days, that's going to allow you to bump up to that 100% of the profit splits from 90%. So you can basically go from making 50% of whatever profit you make. So let's say that you make 8,000, you're going to only be able to keep 4,000 of that profit until you hit 30 winning trading days with $200 profit or more. Then that jumps up to the full 100%. And that's really how you can start to work your way towards that $15,000 payout per account. So you can have 3, advanced accounts, for example, work your way through 30 winning trading days with 200 profit or more, where you can keep 100% and hit those 3 accounts at $15,000 each. So again, that is the biggest upside when it comes to alpha, is that very high cap when it comes to the max withdrawal that they allow you to do. Now, when it comes to the actual trading platforms that you guys can use to trade alpha, you'll see that they have with Project X something called Alpha Ticks. So if you are familiar with Project X, that's basically what this is. You also have the ability with NinjaTrader and Tradeovate. So if you want to connect, for example, Tradeovate to TradingView, you can do so as well. So they do have different options for how you can actually connect your account to these different platforms that you prefer to start actually placing trades on this firm. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some questions that maybe I don't address in this specific video that you may have. So make sure you guys check out their website. On the bottom right, you'll see a chat box here with a lot of different resources. You guys can also join their Discord server. That's going to be able to allow you to interact with the mods on there, different people in the community that use alpha as well. They also have a very helpful FAQ section here, where you can actually search articles such as drawdown, for example. And once you see that, you'll see there's the daily guard, max loss limit. There's just a lot of great ways to basically search whatever doubts or questions you may have using their FAQ. So definitely utilize the website, utilize the Discord, the chat box, all the different stuff they got on there for you. So my final thoughts on alpha, some of the biggest pros in my opinion are that really large withdrawal cap that you guys do have the ability to work your way up to. The fact that we have end of day trailing drawdown and not intraday trailing drawdown, for me personally, is a plus. And then the support and the speed at which we can actually withdraw and just get our questions answered and get help is something that definitely is a big plus when it comes to alpha. So if you guys want to try out alpha, you can see the links in the description of this video. You guys can go ahead and grab yourself some of these evals. Be on the lookout for any promos as well. We just came off of a Black Friday promo. So they usually do rotate some really good promos that you guys can take advantage of. So again, always stay in the loop on this channel. I always tend to post those promos and my referral links on here. So yeah, guys, hope that you found some value. Hope that you got some more clarity about how Alpha Futures works with their rules, payout structure, all that good stuff on here. And let me know if you guys want me to pretty much break down some of the other firms that are in the space. I can definitely make some videos on that. We also will have a Futures Crash Course 101 that I will be posting on here soon as well for those that maybe haven't really fully transitioned into trading futures from the CFD space yet. I think it is a very, very good thing for you guys to be well versed on both sides of things and take advantage of, you know, this prop firm space, which is a huge, huge opportunity for traders to be able to get capital for a low cost and really get some crazy ROI. So appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you never miss another video in the future. And with that said, appreciate y'all. Let's get it. See you on the next one, and let's run it up.